I wondered if we could start by talking a little bit about why uh, difficult topics are not explored in art that often anymore, it seems. Any thoughts about that?
Uh, People are looking to escape, I think.
I guess so.
What feels very hard. I shouldn't speak for others.
No, no, I mean, I don't know. And it's funny because it really did not occur to me in the writing process or sort of in wanting to do this, but I'm hearing a lot of it now as we sort of talk about the film and why would you choose this? Why would you have your directorial debut with this heavy material? This sort of this question of why. And like I never asked that myself. I I couldn't think of anything else. I couldn't stop thinking about this. I don't know if I'm capable of forgiveness in the most difficult situations, in the unimaginable, in these unimaginable circumstances. I don't know what I would do. So I want to. I'm scared of it, but I'm hopeful I could find a way to move forward. I was a new parent when I started reading about these meetings in the wake of shootings in this country, and I had to confront these ideas. And I've always dreamed of directing. I was working on something else that I guess it wasn't as intense as this. But this pulled complete focus. And I've never looked back, and I've never thought about this as challenging material. I thought about it as something as I needed to work through myself. I needed to think about. I wanted to believe in forgiveness. I wanted to believe in healing and reconciliation, finding paths forward. And I can think of sort of no kind of more important exercise in the world today in this kind of divided country and sort of working through problems and differences. These circumstances are so tragic and so difficult, but the idea of sitting across face to face from someone you're essentially at odds with or have blame or hate for and working through that, I think is something that feels very necessary today. So I never thought of it as challenging. I just thought of it as something necessary, and I kind of had no choice. Sorry, does that make sense?
Of course, it makes sense.
And when you saw this character of Linda on the page that Fran had written, what drew you? What caused you to need to be a part of telling this story?
Well, I think you just said it, the beauty of the writing, extraordinary nature of the writing, which was the truth, which had clarity and no escape, and the wisdom of that. Uh, that's what an actor is drawn to. I mean, so when I read it, the first thought was, well, two thoughts at once. I think you've heard this maybe 100 times, but there's repeating. How could you ever turn this down? And I knew I would never. Yes. And can you stay and drop to the level of grief that respects this story and those in the world who have suffered the unimaginable? So, and the responsibility that comes with that. It's not about my interpretation. No, there's a far deeper purpose here. And I was very, very drawn to that in uncharted territory, shall we say.
Fran, when you were crafting this script that has had impact with these amazing, talented actors as well as the audiences that have been exposed to this story, do you consciously think about the power of the words and the script, or do you try and zone out of your consciousness in communicating emotions, or how conscious is that use of word?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really neat question. I look, I'm an actor and I've never written anything to completion. It's obviously my first movie. And so I approached writing as an actor, as improvisation, right? I knew who my four characters were. The dynamic was sort of simple and straightforward. It's a mother and a father of a shooter and the mother and father of a victim. And I just put myself in each of their shoes and I try to work through situations that I sort of discovered through research or just that were inside of me. But they were equal. There was no good or bad. There was no protagonist or antagonist. There was a kind of equivalence, and I believed in each of them, and I wanted to plead for each of them, because I didn't really believe in monsters, you know. And so I just tried desperately to sort of have them speak their truth and honor that with integrity. And it made for, I mean, it was really difficult, you can imagine, because I kept, you know, bumping into obstacles and have this sort of identity, personality disorder kind of thing, and, you know, felt crazy. But eventually that I knew where I was trying to get, but I didn't know how I'd get there. I did have, you know, all these different pieces of little scenes, you know, inspired by a moment. For instance, I read parents shared photographs, so I sort of improvised the scene, how that would connect to the next scene. I didn't know, but it sort of slowly came together. But the key was there was no status, you know. I was each of these people fully, you know, respectfully, kind of.
And you're no stranger to characters with really layered, complex emotions. What was your process like in taking the words that Fran had written on the page and embodying those into this character of Linda?
Staying with the text several times over in the privacy of my home, let us say, sitting with it in the silence, in the quiet, spending significant time alone. I remember being in a playground and looking at children. I thought of my own. I saw where it connected in what I didn't understand, what I did understand. But I think the most important part of the journey was, for all of us, was in the 2.5-day rehearsal process, in which we went through text to understand, all of us together, what we were doing, and to work through the bumps that didn't quite connect for us and just see where we were. The most important part of that process was an establishment of trust. It was very clear very quickly that we were safe with one another, that we all understood what was ahead of us. We all wanted it to go to the depths it needed to go to, put everything else aside. And, you know, having done it for a while, all of us, you didn't have to speak of what is the work ahead. We knew. And in the way, and you know, I've said this before, but also, you know, with the strength of that writing, trusting it, trusting that it will take us from here to here to here, wherever we need to go, and it will find its own path. Know your words. Don't go up here to get them in the middle of a scene, because then you're out. Know your words, do your homework, trust that she will give you, she meaning Linda for me, what you need to understand. Listen carefully in the quiet and move forward, and listen to the people in front of you. They take off all burden. True in life too. I remind myself, if you stop planning what you're going to say and listen to what that person is saying, the conversation will flow. How's that for us? What kind of answer was that?
That was great.
Shallow.
Oh, that was great.
I don't know the answers, unfortunately.
Last question for you, and I wonder if you both could respond to this. You know, my audience is artists and creators, and this story is very moving, but also very inspiring to, I believe, to artists and creators, because it really speaks to the power of a well-written script and incredible performances. This is not about special effects or you know, the crazy locations, or this is something that a lot of artists could look at and say, wow, yeah, this is just great writing, great story, great acting, great performances. For artists and creators that are trying to get their work out into the world and create something that has resonance and something that has something to say and meaning, what would you say to those artists?
Gosh, you know, I don't. I don't feel like I have any sort of enough experience or authority to tell people, advice or anything. I'm so amazed by these meetings, whether it was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission or Forgiveness Project, or meetings between parents, that I could only sort of imagine what was said. They have nothing but their thoughts and feelings and words, like they have nothing to use but just their expression, which I thought was so amazing and sort of terrifying, but extraordinary, that you just have to sort of express yourself and be honest, and allow yourself to sort of feel pain and express your desires. And it's just human. It's just being human. And that's why I was so adamant about shooting this movie in a room with, bare walls and no music and no cuts and no flashbacks. And, I had to sort of respect and honor what these meetings really are, and just the effort for humans to heal and move forward.
I'm going to say something because he won't say it. This is a definition of an artist, because Fran knew the story he wanted to tell. He knew how he wanted to tell it. He got a ton of pushback. No, you need this. No, you need that. He never fell off his path of what he wanted to tell. That's an artist. And to me, that gives strength and hope and freedom to filmmakers. Now, actors know too. Don't give up that love story, honey. Keep going. Find it. Tell the universe you're here and ready and waiting. Nobody else can tell you. You already know. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I can't imagine.
Too humble. You know what I'm saying? He's not too humble. That's part of his greatness. He's not too humble. He's humble.
I can't imagine a better note to end on than that. Thank you, Fran, the great Dowd. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to speak with both of you today.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks so much.
Take care of
Thanks,
yourself.
John.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, honey. Bye.